There are currently thousands of people living in situations of distress all around the world. The conditions of war surrounding their country make it almost impossible to lead a normal life, leaving instead to suffering, isolation, separation from loved ones, anxiety, and hiding. This leads to the population fleeing to neighboring countries, but most are rejected and excluded from the communities. Today we are showing two stories, so people can realize that these people need our open arms.
I'm 27 years old, Merita, married, and I'm 7 months pregnant, waiting for my third child. Yet, it all changed when the Syrian civil war began. I was home with my mother and daughter when the war reached our region. A neighbor came home and informed us that my husband and other 15 people had been killed in an attack. I ran town so I could recover his body, yet I soon discovered that the rebel forces had blocked the road. Desperate, I tried to sneak past them, but this was all in vain. Unfortunately, I was caught and then sent back home. Now, I'm currently hiding and just hoping for the best. I'm encouraging my children, telling them that I love them, that I'll protect them, that everything will be fine. Soon everything will be back to normal. And suddenly, an explosion strikes out of my house. This, killing my entire family.
My name is Amika. I am a 24-year-old woman from Afghanistan. I have 2 children and I am married. 2 years ago, my best friend was raped and I began to speak out against the oppressive religion and women's rights. The authorities did not agree and were determined to silence me. I was arrested, tortured, and released by the police. I was forced to leave so my family wouldn't be at risk anymore and they wouldn't have to die for me. I had to begin to form a plan to escape my country, scared and sad to leave my family. I decided to find a human smuggler to take me across the sea, and I had to raise enough money to pay him because they are very expensive. I began to search for one and found 2 options, a cheap smuggler and a smuggler recommended by my friend that is more expensive. I decided to trust my friend and go with her smuggler, even if it was more expensive. But on my way to pay him, a situation happened. I was attacked by one of the civil groups that are threatening the country, but managed to fight them off. By that I used all of my strength. The next day I had to prepare my journey and buy food and supplies for the boat. That afternoon I decided to leave my identity behind and disguise myself as a man to prevent brutal rapes, because it had happened before. That night I boarded the boat. It was full of people, overcrowded and dark. I couldn't even see myself. On the second morning at sea, I had to make a choice. I decided to share my food and water with the other refugees that I thought were at need. Later that day, a fight broke out over the supplies, but my friends protected me as best as they could. But then we realized the natural conditions were getting extreme and the heat is too high. When we spotted the coast, my hopes got up, thinking I would finally be free from the oppression and pain that surrounded me in my previous life. I couldn't wait. But then a storm rolled in, and the boat was in danger. Not long after, we were intercepted by the Coast Guard, and I panicked, throwing myself overboard, not trusting the authorities anymore. But their water was too harsh, and the storm never stopped. I drowned.
During the making of this project, we realized how limited, difficult, and full of suffering refugees' lives really are. That even when you try to take the best decision, you will face difficult decisions that will make you question everything you know. Mostly considering the type of project that we made, we know more than ever that